All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Jimmy and Jake's USL adventure. Uh,
Nice.
with uh, with all sorts of faces you're seeing here. We got Pup Pup and Andy Cabrera up there. We got Mike Steenstra and his Annapolis Blues scarf. I am Jimmy, and I'm here normally. No extra dog for me today, but we are doing a very fun special episode. As you guys know, the USL Jaegermeister Cup kicked off this week, and so the championship was on hold this week, if you will. So Jake and I thought it was really important that we wanted to touch on this cup. It's such a fun experience, and we wanted to bring in a true fan of USL One, and somebody we haven't got a chance to talk to in a while, Mike Steenstra. Michael, how's it doing, buddy?
You know how it goes behind the scenes, but I'm happy to be here this
For
evening
sure.
talking my favorite thing in the world, lower league soccer and USL. I haven't got to watch as much as I wanted at home lately, but I still just love the concept, love the cup, the Jaegermeister Cup. I mean, are you kidding me? It's such a cool competition. You have a second versus third tier competition now. Um, Teams from all over the country coming in, like the closest thing to the Open Cup in the Leagues Cup. Like it's kind of like the birth of what we would call the Leagues Cup for European teams. So yeah, lots to be excited about. Happy to squeeze in coming on. So thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, Michael, if you've seen some of Jake and I's normal episodes, you know that I usually like to hit Jake right off the bat with a little bit of how's your touch. So, Jake, are you ready to play the USL Jaegermeister Cup version of How's Your Touch?
Absolutely. My stink faces weren't in regards to Mike coming on. It was Lupe. You can't see past the border of my favorite player, but Lupe is back there, my pig, and she just burped, and it
Oh,
doesn't smell good.
oh, I can't even imagine. Can't even imagine. All right,
Sinner.
That
all right,
dog and pig.
all right, Lupe, help out your dad after that. Jake, since it's a USL Jägermeister Cup edition, can you tell me what team won the inaugural USL Jägermeister Cup last year? It's going to lead into a fun conversation that we had a little bit back in the green room with all three of us, but um,
Was it Forward Madison?
that is an excellent guess. Mike, do you know? I saw you thinking about it. Do you remember?
I Forward Madison ran through my head, but I was gonna go with more of a top tier like Louisville because I don't know.
That is a good guess, and Louisville has been super successful. Actually, last year was the inaugural USL Jägermeister Cup, and it only included USL League One teams. So our final last year was between Northern Colorado Hailstorm and Forward Madison. So good guess, but Northern Colorado did win. It was a 1-1 game. Hailstorm won 5-4 in PKs. The reason I brought up our green room chat with
Yeah,
Northern Colorado Hailstorm is they went through some ownership financial difficulties, but they wanted to continue forward with their professional team. That meant that they were no longer going to be part of the USL setup in League One, and they are now one of the founding members of what is called. Mike, tell us a little bit about the. I'm
yeah,
sorry, the
League
league.
for Clubs, League for Clubs.
Yes.
I became aware of League for Clubs when Kingston Stockade of Kingston, New York, defected from NPSL to League for Clubs. So Dennis Crowley, who started Foursquare and is a deep pocketed for lower league soccer owner, when his club Kingston switched from NPSL to League for Clubs, it kind of got my antennas up for the league. So it's kind of on par with NPSL, so what we would call fourth division here in the United States. But you have all these teams defecting. You have a lot of teams from NPSL defecting to league clubs in the offseason. Jimmy, you probably know some more of the names than I do, but I know there's a good chunk like Tulsa,
Yeah,
North
Tulsa Athletic, right? Like they're a U.S.
so
Open Cup darling from a couple years ago.
yeah.
Um,
Shout
Napa
out Randy
Valley.
Gonzalez for playing for them in the Open Cup.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, like Napa Valley 1839 was another NPSL club. That's Annapolis Blues Hitchcock club. So yeah, they're doing exciting things over there. I think it's something definitely to check out. So certainly from a USL show perspective, we miss having Northern Colorado as part of the setup, especially since the inaugural Cup winners there. But certainly, Jake, uh, let's talk a little bit before we go into the games here. Can you give us a little bit of what the USL Jaegermeister Cup is as far as format, and then some of like the reason, like some of the key things that are going to make it more exciting than some other regular games or cup matches you might see in the past?
Okay, so it is a cup match. It is a league match, league cup between USL Championship, USL League One. It's broken down into groups. There's 6 groups, and I believe all the groups themselves have 6, and they sort of did it regionally, which is always which is funny to me because Lexington plays in the Western Conference, but they are grouped with teams such as Louisville, Loudoun, North Carolina, Richmond.
Yeah, because they're East Coast is the truth.
Yeah. So it's a really, really cool setup. It's something that USL fans have been asking for a long time, something that sets them apart as the premier American league. You know where to send the check.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the setup, in my opinion, is really, really cool. Instead of having extra time, if the game is drawn, it automatically goes to penalties. So sort of hockey scoring rules. If you get an overtime win or a penalty kick win, you get 2 points and the loser gets 1. If you win in regulation, 3 points. So it's promoting scoring. Goal differential is going to play a big part in who gets out. I believe, what is it? The second place teams in the group are then gauged on their goal differential
I
to
believe
get
it
in.
was like the top 2 teams from each group get in, and then 2 more additional teams. But even more so outside of the goal differential, the first tie break outside of points is goals for. So
Yeah.
like it's promoting the idea that you want to go score goals. So even there's some games that we're going to talk about where teams lost, but like got like late goals here and there that are actually going to be really important for them as we go through the group phase here.
Yeah. We've had discussions, especially in terms of our Premier League show, where I'm a big fan of, especially in like cup competitions, just get rid of extra time, in my opinion. Especially with USL clubs, especially League One USL clubs, where the rosters aren't that big. If you have an injury, it could be just absolutely devastating for your club. So get on the field, get off the field, give us some excitement. And PKs, are a crapshoot, but you still have an opportunity to at least get a point out of it. So I really, really, really like this format, and I think all of us are really excited for what this tournament's going to bring.
Absolutely. So in as far as the format for this show and going forward, how we cover it, in our normal adventure, if you will, I do all the East Coast based games. Jake does the Western Conference games. So we have sort of split up the groups for at least for the group stage so that we can kind of cover them and bring you guys, some quick highlights from the games. Jake is going to be, again, primarily the Western groups, if you will, which is groups 1, 2, and 3. As Jake mentioned, every group within the league has 6 teams, except for group 1 and group 2 have 7. There's 38 total teams in this tournament, so that's why there's a little bit odd numbers, but it'll work out in the end. 6 groups.
6 groups.
Yep.
That's a lot of teams. That's a big tournament.
Yep. 38 total teams, and like I said, each within each group you get to play 4 group games, and that determines the standings. So within those standings, the top 2 teams move on, and then there's a chance for 2 additional teams to move on within the bracket play. So
I don't know who thought of that format, but bravo! It's just so good, so
I
good.
dig it.
exactly. And honestly, I really enjoy the way they've grouped some of these teams too, right? Because there's a couple like, and we'll get into it, like with Group 3, right, where which is a Jake group, which is supposed to be primarily Western, but then within there you have like Indy 11, Forward Madison, Birmingham, teams that we normally see it like in more the Eastern Conference kind of get grouped that way. So it makes it fun for coverage. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. I hope you are willing to take this divergent path of me and Jake's adventure as we cover all things USL going forward. So from there, Jake, do you want to start with your? I'd like to go by group. Do you have your games broken out by the group play or no? Do you just want to go back and forth?
I don't think I do. I probably should have thought of that. I am a broadcasting professional.
Well, here, let me give you this. I will go first, and I'll give you the Group 4 games while you group out your games. So that's 3 games of coverage to get it aligned, if that works with you.
Kill some time too, so you can.
Exactly. Yeah. Mike asked me all sorts of questions that I won't be able to answer, and then we'll go from there.
Deal. All
right. So for me, like I said, I'm covering groups 4, 5, and 6. So I'm gonna start with Group 4. Group 4 consists of Detroit City FC, me and the Northern Guard here behind me. We have Hartford Athletic. We have the Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC. All 3 of those teams from USL Championship, and then we also have new club Portland Hearts of Pine, which I think at least me and Jake have talked about in the past. We love the jerseys and everything else they've put together in Portland. We have another USL Championship team in Rhode Island FC, and then we have Westchester SC in Group 4. So let's get down to the games. So we're going to start right away with my boys. Detroit City FC hosted the Pittsburgh Riverhounds in the first game. Detroit gets a win here, 1-0. Darren Smith on an absolute heater. He's got 5 goals the last 3 appearances across all competitions. Gets a header off a beautiful cross from the right-hand side, slips it into the corner in the first minute of stoppage time. So 91st minute, if you will. Detroit goes on to get the win here, continuing what's really been a good start to the season for them. For Detroit going forward, their next group game will be away at Portland, the Portland Hearts of Pine, on May 31st. For Pittsburgh, they go home and they're going to be hosting Rhode Island on May 31st as well. So from there, we go to Hartford. So Trinity Health Park in Hartford. Hartford's had some struggles in the USL Championship to start the season, but they're hosting new boys, Portland Hearts of Pine. They get a win here, 2-0. Panayotu gets 2 goals, one in the 41st minute to get the goal started for Hartford. Really kind of an odd break. They get a couple advantage calls, ball across, breakaway, slips it in, 1-0. Second half gets a second goal in the 64th minute, and then that's followed by a red card in the 72nd minute for Portland. So for these next games, Hartford is going away. They're traveling to Westchester, New York on the 31st. And as mentioned before, Portland is hosting Detroit City on the 31st. Yes, exactly. Yes. So there's some fun ones. Last game we'll mention here from Group 4 was Rhode Island versus Westchester. Westchester hosted this game. Rhode Island still is yet to open their stadium, but they will on Saturday. Brand new stadium in Rhode Island.
Looks amazing. What's that stadium again?
It's got a name, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's right out. It's right along the river. So it's 3-sided. So they have the end zones in the one side where the broadcast booth is, and then they have a scoreboard right in the middle, followed by the river, just a river and woods behind. Like
you said, it's a turf field, right?
It is a turf field, yes.
Yeah. You said that, you described it in an episode recently, which, by the way, you guys don't listen to USL Championship Show, which is probably why you're here, but you guys do an awesome job. So continue.
Thank you. Yes. But yes, they do host their first game on Saturday. But this game was at Westchester, which is a turf field. Rhode Island, a comfortable win, 4-1. We had I'm gonna slaughter his name. Nodarse. It's a Nodarse in the 25th minute off a corner kick, a header goal from Maxi Rodriguez. Then we had JJ Williams cleaning up a rebound in the 28th minute to go 2-0. So back-to-back goals right away. Maxi Rodriguez gets one in the 37th minute. Rhode Island is rolling. And then JJ Williams again in the 65th minute to go 4-0. Bolanos for Westchester steals one back, nice little poker on the keeper in the 85th minute, 4-1. So Rhode Island next game, they are away at Pittsburgh. They'll be traveling. Another beautiful river stadium. If you haven't seen it before, it's beautiful. Check it out. And then Westchester again at home against Hartford on the 31st. So that leaves us with standings for Group 4 after game day 1. Rhode Island in first place with 3. Rhode Island, Hartford, and Detroit City all have 3 points, but Rhode Island is in first, as we mentioned, goals 4 being the first tiebreaker. So Rhode Island with 4 goals, Hartford with 2, DCFC with 1, and then Westchester, Pittsburgh, and Portland all have 0 points. But Westchester is in 4th because they did score 1 goal. Pittsburgh is in 5th because their goal differential, which is the second tiebreaker, is -1. Portland at -2 for their goal differential being the tiebreaker, since neither Pittsburgh nor Portland have scored. So that rounds us up for Group 4. Jake, have I killed enough time there for you to take us to which group are you taking us to for your first reviews?
Okay, we're gonna head to Group 1. So our first matchup is OC versus Las Vegas Lights. Las Vegas comes to town and beats up on OC 3-1. Just some notes. A Henaro N-word corner. I'm not going to say his last name. Is cleared, but Christian Pinzon heads it back into the box, and Rory O'Driscoll hammers it home. Best part of the match is the commentator yells, "O'Driscoll rules!"
It was such a beautiful strike. Like, it was like pure when he hit it. It was a great hit.
Oh yeah,
Jake.
And then
can I ask who is in this group? Can you tell me who's in the group?
So in Group 1 is Las Vegas Lights, Spokane Velocity FC, Sacramento Republic FC, Monterey Bay FC, Oakland Roots, Orange County, and AV Alta.
Cool. Okay.
All right. And then other notes for this goes 2-1 Las Vegas's way to end the half. OC gets one back to end the half, 2-1. So then pretty much to end the game, Johnny Rodriguez ends up finishing off a penalty, and then Las Vegas goes on to win the game. Player of the match, instead of doing a player of the week, I'm going to do a player of the match. Is Las Vegas goalkeeper Raiko Rosarena. The Cuban responds after getting thrashed last week by Oakland Roots. 6 saves, 1 goal against. His only goal against was a penalty. 13 to 30 passes, 925 long balls, 5 saves inside the box. Dude is 5'11", and he is balling. So then we're going to head to Sacramento. AV Alta comes into town. Oh, go ahead.
I got a question about the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Was he one of the ones that defected from the national team?
No, he plays for the national team still.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Continue. Sorry.
So we're heading to Sacramento. AV Alta comes to town. I was a little bit bummed out.
I'm sorry, Jake. I keep derailing you. His brother defected. He's Major League Baseball player Randy Rosarena, and he actually played in the World Baseball Classic for Mexico, because when he defected from Cuba, he landed in Mexico, and that's where he spent a lot of time. His brother, yes. So his brother is the outfielder for the Seattle Mariners, Randy Rosarena. But yes, so
Nice.
I apologize, Jake. We keep. Well,
That's
let's see.
pretty
Let's see
good.
how much we can derail Jake on his
Yeah.
attempts.
On my return, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm in the way right now coming back onto the show.
No, you're good. You're good.
You guys are fine. I enjoy talking about baseball.
Not me.
So Sacramento ends up winning this game 1-0. 16 shots, only 2 on target from Sac. So they had chances, just couldn't put it on frame. Probably should have been a higher score against this team. I'm very excited to see a game at AV Alta's Stadium. It's called the Hangar, and it's out in the
Yes.
what is
Like
that
that.
desert in California?
Mm.
Mojave, on the
Yes.
Mojave. So pretty
Oh.
cool location for a team. Um,
Mm.
51st minute +1. Very, very long cross from Jared Timmer goes off the head of Juan Herrera, and the Colombian heads it home. Player of the match is going to be Jared Timmer. That cross that he got an assist on, that dude's a center back, playing in a back three. One big chance, 1 assist, 3 clearances, 2 headed, 1 interception, 3 of 4 on ground duels, and 4 of 5 on aerial duels. He had himself a game. So our final game in Group 1, we are heading to Spokane, Washington. And Spokane goes on to get the cup set. So a League One team beating a USL championship team. Spokane
one.
goes on to beat. What's up?
It's the first one you've talked about.
Yes.
Mhm.
Spokane goes on to win this game 2-1. A Brighton special from Oakland. Oakland had 58% of the ball, 10 shots, 3 on target compared to the 4 and 3 on target from Spokane. 411 passes for Oakland compared to 273. Luis Gil gets the first goal for Spokane, 1-0. Terrible defending on the second goal by Roots. I don't know if they were trying to do like a offside trap, or Gaga. This is the fun part. There was a lot of names on here, so if you're a fan of the show, getting to watch me struggle through things. This man is a Georgian, not
Say
the
the
southern
name,
state,
Jake.
but the country. Gaga Margvelashvili. He will go from here on out as Gaga. He overplays Pelays. I'm sorry. Anwar Pelays overplays him, and he ends up getting a goal off a really, really good pass from Andre Lewis. So 2-0 at the half for Spokane. Gaga ends up getting his revenge on this one. Weird play. Like if you watch the throw in, he like backs himself all the way up until he goes out of bounds to the left side of the goal. The ball gets thrown into someone else, and he kind of runs his way out and like gets his defender to be picked by other defenders. And then it's a schmaz. And another fun name. You ready for this one? Babosi Biaronga. He gets awarded the assist, but what actually happens is he gets on the ball, starts dribbling, and it looks like Gaga tackles him, his own teammate, and sends the ball into the net. It's not enough. Oakland ends up losing 2-1. Player of the match is Spokane center defensive midfielder Andre Lewis. The Jamaican gets an assist, 48 of 50 passes, 3 of 3 on tackles, 7 of 10 on ground duels, and 2 of 4 on aerial duels. To round out the Group 1 standings, Las Vegas is in first. Or actually, they went into first now because they're currently playing and winning.
Yeah.
Las Vegas was up with 1 game, 3 points. Spokane in second with a win, 3 points and 2 goals. Sacramento also won. They have a goal. And in the bottom of the table, you got Oakland, who lost, only scoring 1 goal. Orange County lost, only scored 1 goal. And AV Alta, who did not score a goal.
Yeah, I know that the timing was a little weird, just with scheduling and stuff like that. Most teams don't play again until late May, but Las Vegas and AV Alta are actually in game week 2 right now as we're recording this. So it does throw off some of those stats.
It's funny too hearing you guys talk about the standings. There are way more championship teams than League One teams, so there will be generally
Yes.
more championship
There
teams in the group.
so of the 38 teams that are in the tournament, 24 of those are USL championship teams. There's only currently 14 teams in USL League One. For people who have watched the championship show, you guys are very well familiar that there are two conferences that make up the championship. Within USL League One, there's just one table. So it's it is growing, but it's certainly a little bit different than the championship.
Well, I could diatribe about how I think it's the most obvious to grow from here because the levels to buy into USL League One are very small, and now Championship that's very high, and with promotion relegation, of course, League One will be more attractive in a few
Well,
years. Continue.
I no, I like I do want to note on that because I think I texted it to you guys while we're talking about USL League One teams that are coming in. They're exciting. I mentioned there is Fort Wayne United coming in. I think Fort Wayne United. It's Fort Wayne's USL League One team.
Easily.
Yes, and their director of operations is Marcus Beasley. He's a Fort Wayne native. But they also have put the money in and built a soccer specific stadium that seats 8,500 people.
Right.
It's right off I-69. It's really not that far
Nice.
from me, so I plan on going and checking it out next year. It's probably about an hour away from me. So certainly, it's something exciting. You're going to start seeing some more of that investment into USL. So I digress. So let's move forward. So I digress. I'm gonna move into Group 5. Mike, Group 5 is made up of again 6 teams, 4 USL Championship teams, 2 USL League One teams. So the 2 USL League One teams are the Charlotte Independents and the Richmond Kickers. And then for the USL Championship squads, we have Lexington, Loudoun United, Louisville City, and North Carolina FC. So the first game we're going to do is we're going to go to Wake Med Park and North Carolina FC hosting Charlotte Independence. Charlotte Independence with another cup set here, 2-1 win. They get 2 goals early. They had Cheney in the 10th minute, just slips away for a nice quick goal, and then Alvarez gets a penalty in the 25th minute. 2-0 for about 2 more seconds until Anderson scores in the 27th minute. But that's all we had for scoring. Unfortunately for North Carolina, they get a red card in the 86th minute. Maldonado just didn't quite have it here. I think that and I should have noted this in the first part, but there are teams that within the championship that took the cup seriously and started their normal starters. Again, this is almost a bye week for USL Championship clubs. There was no games in between, so you should have been able to play your full complement. And most of these teams don't play again until this weekend. But there were some teams that chose to rotate, and they suffered. North Carolina didn't start. I believe Jake McGuire, their normal starting goalkeeper. They were missing some of their other normal starters, so it cost them tonight, on Saturday. North Carolina's next game is they are away May 31st against Richmond Kickers. And then for the Independents, they are at home against Lexington SC also on May 31st. So going from that game, we're going to Lexington hosting Loudoun United. Loudoun gets the win here 1-0. Erlinson in the 90th minute, the 96th minute off of a beautiful set piece ball from Abukura, who is actually one of the What's that?
He's Golden Boot winner, right? Golden Boot leader in championship.
Him and Darren Smith, who I mentioned earlier from DCFC, are tied for the league lead right now. He had a beautiful assist on this one. He is do everything for Loudoun. Loudoun is in first place in the East right now in the championship.
I saw him play live, and I hated him because I was rooting for Virginia Dream in the U.S. Open Cup, and Erlinson was just being an absolute asshole out there, just like tugging jerseys off the ball, pushing people off, like away from the ref's view, just like being an absolute dickhead, which probably makes you a good soccer player. But yeah,
You know what? Much like the English setup, there are guys that you look at him and you say, that's a championship player. And there's guys you look at him and say, like, that's a Premier League player.
yeah,
Like, you're going to find there are lots of players, even in the USL Championship, that are very much at the proper level where they're supposed to be because they have enough talent, but then they mix it up with some of the dark arts.
some of the Neil Maupay isms.
For sure, for sure. For Lexington, their next match again, I mentioned they're away at Charlotte Independence on the 31st. For Loudoun, they are at home against Louisville City on the 31st. Louisville City is their only loss on the season so far, so looking to avenge that. Speaking of
It's
Louisville
only
City,
35 minutes from Loudon. Last interruption, then I'll let you go. But
no, you're
I
good.
have to go to Segra more often because I only live without traffic 35 minutes from Loudon United.
They have a beautiful little setup there. They're having a fantastic season. You're going to see some good soccer. Like I would highly recommend it. And it's USL Championship is one of the most affordable sporting event tickets going right now in the United States. Full package, food, tickets, everything. You want to get some cool gear, like they have nice swag. Like Jake's got a kit on right now. Everything's actually affordable, and you get a great bang for your buck. So go to your local USL team. Last game from Group 5, Louisville City hosted Richmond Kickers. Louisville dominates here 4-1. They actually didn't score until the 3rd minute stoppage time in the first half. Perez gets a goal. Serrano Lopez in the 55th minute. Gleedle in the 62nd minute, and then Perez with a beautiful chip in the 87th minute. Richmond did get one in the 58th minute, which again helps. We talked about goals for being important. Just a tough loss against a really, really, really good team. Probably one of the best teams in the USL Championship, which makes them arguably one of the best teams in the USL pyramid. So next game for Louisville, again, they are away at Loudoun, and Richmond are at home against North Carolina FC. Both those games on the 31st of May. So standings for Group 5, Louisville, Charlotte, and Loudoun all have 3 points. However, Louisville is in first with 4 goals, Charlotte in second with 2 goals, Loudoun in third with 1 goal. And then 4, 5, and 6, which is North Carolina, Richmond, and Lexington, all have 0 points. However, North Carolina and Richmond both have 1 goal. North Carolina being ahead of Richmond on only -1 goal differential, Richmond at -3 goal differential. And then Lexington in dead last, no points, no goals scored. So that is where we leave it for Group 5.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to pick up with Group 2, which is a mainly Southwest group. So we're going to head to Texoma. My El Paso Locomotive come to town. Texoma is currently 14th of 14 in the USL League One. They are 0-1-4, and they have 13 goals against. El Paso goes to shootouts, tied 0-0. Boring. El Paso gets goalied again, and it sucks because the guy who goalied them is Javier Garcia, former backup for El Paso Locomotive. It's kind of cool. Got to see the ghost of Solomon Asante, former USL Championship legend for Phoenix, back when Phoenix was wrecking shit. Game goes to penalties. El Paso had 69% of the ball. Nice. 6 shots, 4 on target, 451 passes to 159. Goes to pens. Robert Coronado from El Paso misses the very first penalty kick. So he started getting a little bit nervous, but then Texoma goes on. Will Perkins and Lamine Jeanne both miss their penalties, and El Paso wins. My player of the match, Kofi Twumasi, 33 of 42 passes, 2 of 3 on long balls, 3 of 4 on tackles, 4 of 6 on ground duels, and 5 of 5 on aerial duels. Center defensive mid, sort of playing as a center back sort of playing as a center defensive mid. Really, really like that guy. So we are now heading to the wretched hive of scum and villainy known as Albuquerque, New Mexico. New Mexico United welcomes Union Omaha. Shout out to my
you
friends.
hold on. You're supposed to be nicer. Remember that was like the one feedback we got in the
Yeah.
Substack is that you're supposed to be nicer to New Mexico.
Also,
That's
too, what former Maryland Bobcat is signed with Texoma?
Oh, you know what? I didn't even notice.
Ooh, that's a
He
mid
didn't play.
game housing
He did not
touch.
play in the Jaegermiester Cup. I checked the stats. He didn't play, but he's a
Oh.
favorite of the pod of the Bobcast.
Who's on Texoma?
Davey fucking Mason.
No way.
He signed with Texoma.
Oh, hell yeah. Good for him.
Yep.
Tell him to come out to El Paso. I'll buy him a
Worlds
burrito.
collide.
So we're heading to New Mexico. New Mexico United welcomed Union Omaha to town and wins 2-0. New Mexico dominated this game. 60% of the ball, 18 shots, 12 on target, 423 passes to the 229 for Union Omaha. A ball gets played to New Mexico's Marlon Vargas in the 41st minute. Dion Akoff tries to body him, and Vargas goes down like as soon as he feels contact, he goes down. They bring up Talon Maples, the center back, to take the penalty, and he nails it. 90+3. Vargas gets his goal. He puts Rashid Nuhu on skates on this. Absolutely fantastic play by him. Vargas is a guy that you really, really want on your team. And when he's not on your team, again, shout out to our Lord and Savior Neil Malpe. He is obnoxious. And obviously coming from a Locomotive fan, I'm probably biased in this. But yeah, I would absolutely love that dude if he is on Oklahoma, or I mean, if he's on Locomotive, I'm sorry. And, but if he's not, you just hate his face. So former Locomotive player Brent Coleman in the 95th minute allows his allegiance to show through, and he gets frustrated with the irritant that is Daniel Bruce, and he throws a throw in off Daniel Bruce's dumb head and gets his second yellow and gets sent off. Daniel Bruce gets doinked. Total gangster move by Daniel Bruce. I got to give credit where credit's due. I hate that guy with a burning passion, but he has the ball go off his forehead, doesn't even phase him, and he doesn't even get involved in the scrum. He just walks away and then just starts pumping up the crowd. So good for you, Bruce, you asshole. Player of the match is Omaha goalkeeper Rashid Nuhu. I mean, other than the Vargas goal, the guy had a game. It should have been way more than what it was. 10 saves, 6 inside the box. He's got a punch, and he's got an 11 recoveries. So shout out to Nuhu. Shout out to Union Omaha. I like all their fans. Really, really nice people when El Paso's gone up there to play. So shout out to them. We are heading to Phoenix next time for this next game. Phoenix welcomes San Antonio to town and promptly loses 1-0. Pretty dead even game, except for the fact that Phoenix had 7 shots, 0 on target. Really ugly shooting game from Phoenix. They had really good attack, 394 passes to 282. They just couldn't get the job done when they got down low. In the 63rd minute, San Antonio's Nicky Hernandez plays a ball to the box where, here we go, another one. Juan Agudelo.
No, you have to know this one because he played on the U.S. men's national team. Agudello, yeah. I think he has to have a Baker's. No, I guess maybe a dozen appearances for U.S. men.
He's a at
one point he was supposed to be something, and it just didn't happen for him. But I think about him all the time. You mentioned last week, Jake, Jurgen Damm for Oakland. When I think about old FIFA guys that I used to sneak in, Aguadel is one of them. But I'm sorry to interrupt. Go on.
Oh no, you're good. I'm an Ireland fan, anyways. So he gets the ball, chests it down, turns, scores. A bit of a fluky goal, but it gets the job done for San Antonio, and they go on to get the win. My player of the match is San Antonio's center back, Mitchell Tainter. I bet he had a lot of fun in middle school. 42 of 52 passes, 7 in the final third, 13 of 23 on long balls, 1 tackle, 3 of 4 on ground duels. hell of a game. So we're going to cover the table for Group 2. New Mexico leading the way, 2 goals for them, 3 points. San Antonio, 1 goal for them, but they get 3 points. El Paso gets the overtime win, no goals, 2 points. Texoma gets the overtime loss for 1 point, no goals. And Phoenix gets the L, no goals.
Timeout. Is an overtime win 2 points?
Overtime win is 2 points. Shootout win.
I don't like that at all.
No, it's like hockey. Like you made a like it encourages you to at least push. Like if you're down, to push for another goal to get the tie, because even if you lose in shootouts, you get a point because you pushed it to overtime.
But a shootout win is just as it's equal to scoring a goal in overtime.
What do you mean?
I think it's meant to benefit the League One clubs in like, oh shit, you hung in there with a USL Championship club. Congrats, here's a point.
And it's also a little bit of a nod to the fact that you didn't get 30 more minutes to try to get a game winner because
wait, there's no overtime period. It's just straight
to PKs. You're good.
Sorry.
Yes. No, you're good.
Sorry.
I digress. We apologize a lot. We like to have fun. All right. So the last group for me is Group 6. Dare I say, maybe the pod favorite as far as teams in here. We have 3 USL Championship squads, and we have 3 USL League One squads. The 3 championship squads are the Charleston Battery, Miami FC, and the Tampa Bay Rowdies. And then from USL League One, we have the Greenville Triumph FC, FC Naples, and South Georgia Tormenta FC. I know Mike has had some conversations with FC Naples, if I remember correctly. Also, other worlds colliding for Bobcats people. Jake Dengler plays for FC Naples. Also,
the best
Mike,
Bobcat of all time, the Bobcat GOAT.
Let me give you one more. This is a Mike special one here. Okay, I need you to follow me on this. So my former employer, also your former employer, Mike Garrett, owned Soccer Zone. His son Ian Garrett plays left back for FC Naples. So and he had an appearance in this game in the game in week 1 as well.
Sweet.
But let's get into the game. So the first game, let's start right with them. FC Naples hosting Charleston Battery.
They beat them.
They get the win here, 1-0.
They're a good team. FC Naples could win this tournament.
100%. The USL League One. So FC Naples, I believe they're in first place in USL League One. Last time I checked, but the Golden Boot leader for USL League One comes from FC Naples. Henderlung gets the goal here for against Charleston. Big win for FC Naples. A great way to start their match. I talked about a little bit earlier about teams that from the championship that took this seriously, kept their normal starting rotation that they would for the championship versus guys that rotated their squads. Charleston rotated their squad and they looked lethargic. They looked like they weren't fully committed to the tournament. I can't remember if Charleston's still in the U.S. Open Cup, but you have to take that into consideration as some of these guys or as some of these teams talk about managing their schedule. For FC Naples going forward, their next game is away at Miami on the 31st of May. And then for Charleston, they go back home. They host Greenville on the 31st as well. So next game is actually for me, the first just USL League One matchup, all matchup. SG Tormenta hosting Greenville Triumph. SG South Georgia gets the win here 2-1. Tunbridge gets both goals for South Georgia in the 22nd minute, and then also has a penalty in the 4th minute stoppage time right before halftime. Greenville gets a goal late. Robles in the 86th minute salvages a goal. Again, goals for are important, even though the loss here. Next match is South Georgia travels away to Tampa. And then for Greenville, like I mentioned, they are away at Charleston. So that leaves us with the last matchup here from Group 6, which is Tampa Bay versus Miami. Arguably, I would say the most neutral, entertaining game of the entire USL Jaegermeister Cup first week. It is a 3-3 tie in regular time. Miami wins in penalties 4-3. Um, the story here, though, is again, Tampa Bay is at home. They get a goal from Pacius in the 8th minute, Castellanos in the 28th minute, and Arteaga finally getting off the snide in the 32nd minute. So 32 minutes in, Tampa Bay is up 3-0. They're cruising. Miami has been largely having a struggle bus of a year. They have had a couple good results recently in the championship, but they haven't had to play from behind. Certainly not like this. But they get a goal from Blanco in the 57th minute penalty. Blanco, former Portland Timber, if you recognize the name from MLS days. And then so that was in the 57th minute, and then Zarate in the 60th minute, so 3-2, and then one more from Milano in the 77th minute. That ties it up. That sends us to the PKs, where Miami ultimately gets the win. So 3 straight goals and PK win for Miami. Basically stealing 2 points off of Tampa Bay here. Super important for them. For the next matches for both these teams, Tampa Bay is at home against Tormenta, and Miami is at home against Naples. So that leaves us with the standings after week 1 in Group 6. We have 2 teams with 3 points at the top of the table. South Georgia Tormenta in first place on 3 points with 2 goals scored. FC Naples on 3 points with 1 goal scored. In third place, we have Miami FC with 2 points coming off of that PK win over Tampa. They also, by note, they have 3 goals in their goals for tally, which is going to be important as we go through the rest of this process. Tampa Bay with 1 point for the PK loss with 3 goals scored. Greenville and Charleston both have 0 points, but Greenville is in 5th because they did score 1. Charleston in dead last in this group, 0 points, 0 goals. It'd be interesting to see after that first result if Ben Pierman chooses to change how he approaches the cup. I think it'll definitely depend on where they're at with the U.S. Open Cup and within the league, but certainly something to look at. So before I have some more fun stats later, we do have one more group to go through. So Jake, where are you taking us for the last group here?
So we got Group 3 action. That's a fine. Forward Madison welcomes Indy 11 to town and gets their ass beat. This is a rough one for the Flamingos, who are struggling in League One. They're 1-2-1, currently sit 11th out of 14th. Love the kits, though. Forward Madison had 54% of the ball. Unfortunately, they got outshot 16 shots with 7 on target for Indy 11 to 7-2 for Forward Madison. Forward Madison actually had the most passes, 336 to 268 for Indy. Nothing really to talk about in the first half, pretty even. And then the 57th minute, the Bells, one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, Elvis Amo checks in, and Forward Madison is going to have a bad time. 68th minute, we have a really bad pass from Forward Madison goalkeeper Bernd Shipman. Mike, what country does Bernd Shipman give his allegiance to?
Shipman?
Oh,
United Kingdom? I don't know.
The Philippines. Allows Aodon Quinn, who is Brazilian, to overwhelm and score 1-0 Indy. A lot of people are thinking, Bernd, how could you make a play like that? A lot of people wonder why their goalkeepers make decisions like that. Wouldn't it be nice if you had a card-carrying member of the goalkeeper union here? Oh, wait, we do. We do. So I'd like to introduce you guys to a segment I like to call WWJD. What would Jimmy do? Jimmy, take it away.
All right, so you did send me the clip from this, and I did see it later when I was watching goal highlights. So the goalie basically has the ball at his feet, but like everybody's up, right? So we have 3 guys basically across the box, including you have a guy on the outside and both sides, and 1 guy centrally. the goalkeeper initially pumps to his left. The outside fielder covers that, so he comes inside to his defender, who as soon as the ball is played, that's when the guy wins it, immediately turns back and scores. I watched that back, and if this is the style that your coach is asking you to do, where he's asking you not to, do what I would like to call the 1990s goalkeeper, where like I'm going to kick the piss out of this like 70 yards downfield, and he wants you to play into feet, your defender has to do a hell of a lot better job holding off that forward or getting to that ball. Even if that means like recognizing that the pass is a little off and kicking out of bounds. The defender didn't give 100% on this. Even though the goalie could have probably played a little bit better ball to his feet, your defender has to help you out there if this is the style. So I'm giving the goalkeeper a pass on this one. Jimmy would have kicked the ball 70 yards downfield, but I understand what Ford Madison's coach was going for here. But I put this on the defender.
The goalkeepers I liked growing up would kick that ball full football field length, and that would make me comfortable.
There you go.
Yes.
Because you guys are proper fucking football men. This playing from the back, utter woke nonsense. Sean Dice says, just fucking hoof it, mate.
Listen, I will say this, because I feel like I grew up in that generation, but also I feel like I am way more fitted for modern football because I play goalie. I'm still, very much active in the goalkeeper community. Been a goalkeeper coach my entire life. However, I do play a lot of field. So like I'm very, very comfortable with the ball at my feet. And like I almost encourage even more so now in modern time, even in recreational soccer, like play me at my feet. Like I'm comfortable with that. I'm the goalie that like I will give you, the Emi Martinez 4-yard touch on the 6-yard line on a goal kick now, and then I'll go sprint like 20 yards out wide, so you can play me out wide and I can play the ball at the field. Like it's fun for people like me who like to play soccer more than just goalie to be able to do that, because in nowadays, like Jake, think about on your team, if you guys had a goalkeeper that could play with his feet, like what an advantage that is. And so
absolutely.
Yeah. Anyways, all right, I'm done waxing. Go on. Tell me more about this game.
Yeah, so back to it. 72nd minute. Everything just went to shit for Ford Madison at this point. Really, really nice 1-2 from Elliot Collier to Jack Blake. Sort of Blake to Collier, Collier to Blake. Blake scores 2-0 Indy. 84th minute, Amo starts taking over. Takes the ball, plays a pass, shot goes in, ricochets off. The keeper makes a save, but Elvis Amo is right there, puts it in, rebound goal, 3-0 Indy. 90 plus 3, Amo gets his brace, collects another rebound, this time off his own shot, 4-0. And Elvis Amo wins the prestigious Player of the Match award just for pretty much screw his stats. Dude was just a lightning rod. The 33-year-old player from Ghana, former Detroit City guy.
He may have scored more goals. He may have scored more goals in this game than he scored for Detroit. I haven't fact-checked that, but go on.
But just total veteran, right place, right time, inspire the team, get the win. Elvis Amo, your award is in the mail. So now we are heading to Knoxville, Tennessee. They actually set a record for League One attendance at their stadium, which is a baseball stadium, Covenant Health Park. I believe the Tennessee Smokies play there, which is like a affiliate of the Cubs. 6,378 people. Shout out Knoxville. That was fucking awesome. You guys showed up for your team. This was the battle of the long balls. 49% of the ball for Knoxville, 51 for Tulsa. 18 shots, 4 on target for Knox, 11 and 3 for Tulsa. 167 passes to 172 for Tulsa. So long balls, second minute. Huh?
I've been listening to your passing stats, and that's not a lot of passing in total.
No, it's not. They were, like I said, proper fucking football men, hoofing it. So maybe Knoxville was taking notes. Maybe they watched the pod, I think 2 weeks ago, where we talked about maybe the long ball was the secret to breaking down Tulsa's defense.
Bring back Jan Vertonghen and Toby Alderweireld, like just pinging balls from the center back.
So this starts off early. What a ball from Tulsa's Boubacar Diallo. Well in his own half. He sends it down to a racing Taylor Calhera, who has been so much fun to watch. Sends it home 1-0. Another long ball, but this time for Knoxville, leads to a goal for, here we go, Stavros Zarakostas. And he is indeed Greek. No secret there. Sends the ball to, Mikel Goling for a tap in. Ends up being 1-1. In the 70th minute, Tulsa calls up the ball, and Abudulay Sissoko, who I have become a huge fan of, unfortunately, he gets his second pen in 2 matches. That's the center back for Tulsa. Kempes Tekiela scores the pen, 2-1 Knoxville. This has been a hard week, man. I'm telling you.
I haven't said a name yet, so I enjoy it. And the players appreciate it too. You're trying, man.
I'm trying my best, man. Heavy tongue.
No. Listen. We could go and study this, but I feel like people listen. We are watching these games, but we're not I'm not Chris Whittingham and going and learning perfect pronunciation. So come enjoy us while we stumble through this in the kindest way possible.
I'm human, goddammit. In the 89th minute, Knoxville threatens sort of a breakout, and Lamar Batista has to commit a professional foul, gets his second yellow, and is sent off. Despite that, a man down.
Tulsa second yellow. But go. Sorry.
So in the 90th minute, +5, Tulsa says no. And, Tulsa says, you thought. Abudulay Sissoko plays a header to a rushing Alhassan Torre, who sends the match to pens. ... where they promptly lose. Misses by Sissoko, and Diallo doom Tulsa to 1 point. My player of the match, despite giving up the penalty kick, Sissoko is my player of the match just for that assist. He sort of heads it, but his back's to the goal, and he sort of heads it backwards to where his player latches onto it, scores the goal. And I, as someone who plays center back, especially at pickup recently, I love how that dude plays football. So shout out to Sissoko and to Tulsa. You guys will get better. And congrats to Knoxville for the upset and the fan base. The final game, Birmingham Legion welcomes Chattanooga's favorite soccer team. You saw them plant the flag. Chattanooga Red Wolves come to town and lose 3-1 to Birmingham. Birmingham with 69% of the ball. Again, nice. 16 shots, 6 on target for Birmingham, 7 shots, only 1 on target for Chattanooga, but it ends up being their goal. 450 passes for Birmingham to Chattanooga's 152. 10th minute. This was a wild goal. 3 blocked shots off a corner. So corner comes in, boom, blocked, boom, blocked, boom, blocked. And then it falls to Danny Trejo, who hammers one home, literally from the 6-yard box. Like how this ball wiggled to him. Each shot got progressively closer until Trejo finally got it, and he was right by the goal, hammers it. 66th minute, 50-50 ball leads to Red Wolves center defensive midfielder Michael Knapp going studs up. Is a weird thing. Both of them slid. The Birmingham player gets to it first in the slide, and Michael Knapp just ends up putting his studs into the guy's shin, gets a straight red. 71st minute, Enzo Martinez, no, not that one, gets nudged, but sends a pass with the outside of his foot. Oh my God. Go watch this goal. I'm telling y'all, go watch this goal. Enzo Martinez gets bumped sort of from the back, and it's so weird because he's He passes the ball to the right with the right outside of his right foot, but he like floats. It looks like he kind of goes up and lofts, and then he just flicks it, and it's beautiful. Fantastic pass to Tabor Ataka Preston, and they double Birmingham's lead. Great goal from him, but God, that pass, man, like this league is awesome. 79th minute, what a ball from Danny Trejo. He threads this thing, man. Good Lord. 2 guys closing in on the ball, and he goes right between them. Beautiful through ball. Ronaldo Damas, who I hope for the Birmingham fans' sake starts waking up a little bit more than he has this season. That dude is good, and he is a goal-scoring machine when he puts his mind to it. He gets his goal here. Birmingham goes up 3-0. 90th minute, +4. A really, really long Red Wolves free kick lands on the foot of Al Hassan, who scores, who volleys it, to Eric Kinzer, and he scores from close range. Too little, too late. My player of the match, Birmingham's Danny Trejo, 1 goal, 1 assist, 25 of 26 passes, including that through ball. Good Lord, do yourself a favor. Go watch that goal. And as well, the Enzo Martinez outside foot pass. This game was super, super fun. And shout out to Chattanooga. Hopefully we can have another Open Cup match between them and the other Chattanooga team.
I have 2 comments specific to that, and they're both movie references. The first one being to Chattanooga FC. It's from Star Wars, and it's "You were the chosen one, and like you fucking went to the dark side, you monsters." Second one being, I am open to having a Highlander. There can only be one Chattanooga team, like where you get like, I don't know, like a 7-game series. Whoever wins is the club, and it's either goes MLS Next Pro with those fucking assholes, or that comes and joins us in USL League One.
I think USL has a bigger advantage over MLS Next Pro.
Yeah,
for sure. Nobody wants a farm system. Nobody that loves world football wants a fucking farm system in lower league soccer. The players love it though because they're well equipped and they're well paid.
Yeah.
Sure.
So it's hard to like hate entirely on the whole thing, but
I have to completely disagree with you, Jimmy. I think they should both come to USL Championship and just shock the world because of all the places that you think could have like a old firm type derby. Chattanooga just have knife fights and bottle throwing in the streets of Chattanooga, Tennessee over Red Wolves versus Chattanooga FC. I want to see that. Celtic versus Rangers? Nah. Red Wolves versus Chattanooga.
I need somebody to tell me what the exit clauses are for clubs that have joined MLS Next Pro that aren't specific, like Rapids 2 or LA Galaxy 2, or like, you know what I'm saying, like the independent ones. Like what's the cost to get out? Have you talked about that? Or
no, I haven't. Mike? I haven't. But MLS Next Pro is intriguing because nobody covers it. People don't cover, like, you don't hear any news about MLS Next Pro ever. So
I did think about like I did think about, Jamie Vardy having a party the other day, and him leaving Leicester, but like you brought up again his minor investment in the Rochester Rhinos, and they were MLS Next Pro and folded after like a season. They were one of those independent teams within that. I'm gonna save my thoughts about the Grand Rapids MLS Next Pro and what a missed opportunity that was for both USL and Grand Rapids.
Yeah. There's still time. They should. I wrote an email to them really early on when they were deciding what league to join, and they didn't. They fell upon deaf ears apparently.
Yeah, the
info at GR Soccer, whatever the frick that was.
And the thing is they're another one of those independents, right? They're like Chattanooga, where they're not directly affiliated with an MLS club. They're coming. It's in the Midwest United, which is club team in Grand Rapids. At one point, like they had like another branch in Kalamazoo. I coached for Midwest United at one point. It was just the wrong choice. That having been said, before I go too far, I did have a couple quick aggregated stats for you guys. So after week one, USL League Championship, 13 wins, 9 losses. USL League One, 5 wins, 9 losses. But if we look specifically at division head-to-head games, the USL Championship had 6 wins. The USL League One had 3 wins. So I mean, probably more than people would have guessed, especially considering that we talked about the fact that we have 24 USL championship teams to only 14 USL League One teams. There were some fun cup sets in there, and like certainly I think that this cup is really a precursor to what is coming down the line when we talk about adding, the Division One for USL and promotion and relegation. You're going to start to see, teams that are well run and well built, beating teams outside of their division, and it's fun that way. So I'm looking forward to this cup growing and this league growing, and it's just been fun, man. We're only 9 weeks into this journey, Jake, but it's been good, man.
Oh yeah. Okay, so Jimmy kind of made a reference to it earlier. I finally got the courage. I posted our podcast on the El Paso Locomotive Reddit. And the only person who responded back to me was a user. It's either MazaP99 or Mazap99. And his note was a little more neutrality towards New Mexico United would help. Number one, thank you for listening. Honest to God, thank you for listening. That was really, really nice of you. Also, if we do get a New Mexico fan base, I'm sure they'll like Jimmy more than me. My jokes towards you guys are more smartass than anything. I respect the hell out of your club. I respect the hell out of you guys. The majority of the people, if there wasn't that derby-based relationship, I'm sure I would get along with 99% of y'all. Y'all seem like legitimately good people, and you guys turn out for your club. Certainly more than the people turn out for my club. But I am not going to stop taking jabs because that's what I do. And that leads me to the next point. This weekend, El Paso, Texas, the Derby del Camino Real. New Mexico currently leads this matchup with 7 wins, 8 draws, and 4 wins for El Paso Locomotive. We have the last one where we won after a 2-2 game. We won in pens in the U.S. Open Cup, a huge game. So New Mexico comes to town, and I just want to say best of luck. Go fuck yourself, and we are going to do our best to crush you. And the way things have gone for Locomotive in the past season, I'm pretty sure that New Mexico United might have more fans there than we do. Regardless, like I said, best of luck. Go fuck yourselves. Derby del Camino. Let's go.